This is Luke Spiller from the Struts. When I'm not on stage, I'm checking out Subfacts. Shameless plug there. Shameless, but I don't mind. I hope that you're having an incredible day and this puts a smile on your face. Hopefully see you really soon. All the best. Mwah.
Hello and welcome to Subfacts. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mooney. What's up, Mooney?
What's up, dude?
Not much. Feeling good today. I got to say, I'm feeling good.
I wonder if we should play like the intro like 5 times over because it's Groundhod Day, right?
Good point. I totally forgot it was Groundhog Day. Yeah, we did.
Maybe you should like replay the intro,
Should I do the, hey, welcome to Subfacts. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mooney. What's up, Mooney?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Awesome.
Hey, that trivia was fun last night.
Yeah, we did.
Rob showed up. It was great.
Yeah, we did trivia last night, and it was all Groundhog Day related. So that's why I was thinking yesterday was Groundhog Day, not realizing that today was. But I did find out the Puxatawny Phil, I guess, saw his shadow. Whatever it is, that means 6 more weeks of.
So we're getting 6 more weeks.
Yeah, apparently so.
Sucks.
But that thing's never right anyway.
Never right.
So yeah, what are you gonna do?
It's just like normal weathermen. They're never right.
Yeah. Another thing that I hope is never right.
What?
So a little bit of like subfacts or whatever. It's kind of a nerdy thing that I end up doing. But for some reason, when I post the show, I've been posting the show on Fridays, but it's 2 minutes to midnight. Little Iron Maiden thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. Nobody pays attention. But anyway, that song is based on the Doomsday calendar.
Oh, great.
So
you're completely jinxing us.
It's a subtle inside joke for me and me only, I guess. But the funny thing is this week, so I started doing this a couple weeks ago, just as a goof. Nobody would ever notice. But anyway, this past week, all the people got together and they changed the Doomsday calendar, like the Doomsday Clock is now like 90 seconds versus like the 2 minutes. Which isn't good for us as a world.
No, it's not.
It's not good for us, but so I'm wondering, I don't know if I jinxed us. Like, I don't know if I jinxed the world by doing this little update.
You absolutely might have.
And then does Iron Maiden have to change the name of the song?
I think that you need to change the name, and you definitely cursed us into oblivion.
Because it really has only been like the last 3 weeks that I've done this, and
way to go, you.
In real life, they changed the Doomsday Clock, so it's a little suspect here. So maybe I'll put the show like an hour to midnight to give us
do something. You got to revert,
to do something to
get
change.
Some good mojo going.
And so I thought about that. I'm like, have you ever had those things where you like shock yourself and then you think you have like superpowers? You're like,
no.
By any chance, do I have superpowers now?
No one thinks they have superpowers but you.
Maybe I've seen too many movies, but every time something weird happens, I think I have superpowers, and now I have powers to control the Doomsday Clock.
What are you? Did you take drugs for the episode?
No, I'm just like a lot of crazy things are going down. So, it is what it is. Speaking of crazy things. What's up, Brian?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, except for I control the Doomsday
Did we
Clock.
determine that was Andy as well, the Begin?
No, that's not him.
Oh, that's not him.
Yeah, no, I remember when that came out, we were looking for somebody.
Oh, okay. So that's not Andy shape-shifted or voice-shifted.
Pitch shifting. Yeah. He did that for the other stuff, though.
Pitch shifting.
Yeah. All right. First question. Which movie best captures the feel of the 1990s? So I have a bunch of them up here just as examples. I have Mallrats, Can't Hardly Wait, Empire Records, Singles, Clueless, The Crow, High Fidelity, Election, There's Something About Mary, Wayne's World, Swingers, and Reality Bites. But there could be others.
So I think it all depends on your age during the 90s, because each of these movies could be different. For me, it would be a toss between Can't Hardly Wait and Empire Records. Roughly same age group, and that's kind of where I was, I think, at that time. So for me, those two are. It's also more normal people, and
Yeah,
whatnot,
it depends on your
so-
age. It also depends where you live, right?
Mhm.
Like swingers could easily appeal to more people who live in California.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You know, that type of
Yeah, and
atmosphere.
Clueless in the same vein.
Absolutely. Clue. I was so because that wasn't my.
If you lived in Detroit, The Crow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When did 8 Mile come out? Like that would be
8 Mile was more in the 2000s. It was
Okay.
early 2000s, but
so I'm gonna go really not High Fidelity. I figured that would be on your list.
well, High Fidelity, I definitely had moments like that, like where I hung out at record stores
Yeah.
and talked music and stuff. But keep in mind, in High Fidelity, they were older, and he was recollecting like all his old relationships.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
stuff.
You're right.
So it wasn't necessarily my generation or my version of the 90s.
My two would probably be Mallrats and Can't Hardly Wait. Those two are probably, maybe a touch of Wayne's World, but yeah, I would say Can't Hardly Wait and Mallrats.
And I would even like throw in a third is like Reality Bites, because the greatest line in that whole movie is like, Domino's takes checks, because I'm telling you, that was me. I was the guy. I was the guy who was writing a check for pizza on Wednesday, knowing it wasn't going to go through until Friday when I got paid.
Wow.
Don't think I didn't do that all the time, because Domino's takes checks. So that
They still take checks.
I have no idea. But I had a job interview once, and the guy worked at like the banks, and I wasn't sure if I was even going to get the job. So I figured, he was like, do you have any questions for me? And I'm like, has nothing to do with the actual job, but you worked in the banking system. And from what I understand, if you actually rip the numbers on the bottom of the check, does that stall it out a little bit longer or not? And so I figured I had nothing else to lose, but at least I could find out an answer.
Wow.
Because if I wanted pizza on a Monday or Tuesday, there was a better chance if I ripped the little barcode.
So go a little bit longer, stretch it out. Okay,
exactly. So anyway,
nice. All right, cool. Next question. Which of these brand new fast food items do you most want to try? So these are new items that were just literally released this month. Long John Silver's Lobster Bites, Fazoli's Pizza Baked Spaghetti, Whataburger's Breakfast Bowl, Popeye's Ghost Pepper Wings, Dairy Queen's Reese's Take 5 Blizzard, and Wendy's Italian Mozzarella Chicken Sandwich.
Wow. That looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't try the pizza baked spaghetti. I'm not into that, so I probably would say no to that.
And it doesn't even look that good because it doesn't look like it's got good toppings. It's like it's like bad quality pepperoni and bad quality cheese.
Yeah,
it doesn't look that good.
I'm 1,000,000% behind Long John Silver's Lobster Bites if we had one.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so
you can't.
I immediately knock those out.
In this vicinity, I think we do have a Whataburger. We definitely have a Dairy Queen. We don't have a Whataburger?
No, I had to go. I went to one in
we have a way back burger.
Yeah, I went to one in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm not going to lie, very similar to Burger King.
Okay, so we have a way back, not a Whataburger. So we're really down to 3 choices. And those that are the Popeyes Ghost Pepper Wings.
I can't do spicy, so I'm out.
I would try them, but that Italian chicken sandwich looks money.
It does look pretty.
What is on that? So it's chicken, mozzarella cheese, but what's that? Is that a mozzarella?
It's a mozzarella stick.
Yeah, it's like a big mozzarella patty, like a fried mozzarella patty.
Which means we might have to try it on the show. I'm not gonna lie.
There's 100% we got to do it for the show.
We should maybe.
That's a show thing.
I've been dieting, but I might have to take one for the.
No. We have to do that. That is, and we got to do the Dairy Queen.
And I saw. Speaking of that, Matt, I saw a picture you.
All we got to do to keep you in your little thing, we'll split a chicken sandwich because then that'll be fine.
Okay.
And then we'll get one of those Dairy Queen, small Dairy Queen.
Okay.
This is take 5.
We might have to do it in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Just so I can hit the weigh-in part.
Yeah. We'll do it in a couple weeks. We'll do all of them. We'll get one chicken sandwich. Okay. We'll do one Dairy Queen, and then I'll try the Ghost Pepper Wing.
Boom. We'll do it on the show. Boom.
Bam.
I'll make it like a cheat night.
So Matt, I was just saying, we should give you. We need to give you props. You posted a picture of yourself on Facebook, and you're looking really trim, looking good.
Yeah, thanks. I was rocking Andy's new shirt.
Yeah, it was in the new creativeunderground.co, not .com shirt.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was a cool shirt.
There, trust me, folks. There's a long way to go, but if everything goes according to plan and I don't fall off the wagon, and by the end of the month, it should be about 100 pounds lost.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's
yeah,
absolutely
so
amazing.
crazy
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. It's not been too bad. But I will say, just I think we're on point. I think we agree on the things. If Whataburger was around, I would crush that breakfast bowl.
easy.
It looks fantastic.
Although a local place that I go to, they made he just made it for a guy. He made fried eggs over like crispy fries. I was like, oh my god,
nothing sucks about that.
It was really good.
Awesome.
Put some ketchup on it. I was like, man, this is good.
Awesome. All right, last question. Who was hotter in their prime? So we have
Great question.
We have Jennifer Aniston, we have Denise Richards, we have Jennifer Love Hewitt, we have Cindy Crawford, Shannon Elizabeth, Carmen Electra, Alyssa Milano, and Liz Hurley.
Wait, who's the one looking at me like, come here?
All of them. Look at the picture.
No, there's one in the bottom right with the black straplet.
That's Alyssa Milano.
No.
Oh yeah, she's easily saying, "Come here, Mooney." Like, I like the Jets.
So I have a tie for 2. And I won't know how to break up the 2. So maybe you can help me with that. So.
All right, I'm still deciding on my man.
Do you want me to give you?
Really
I'll give you my
difficult.
2, and then you help me decide.
I know my 2, but I want to see if anyone could guess my 2. It's probably pretty easy.
Do I give my 2 first?
Yeah, go give your 2.
Okay, so my 2, and it's a 100% tie. Is Elizabeth Hurley and Jennifer Love Hewitt. J. Love Hewitt is amazing. The only problem, and I think where it might be where Hurley.
So you were going with
I'm going with Elizabeth Hurley and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
J. Love Hew.
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that J. Love might be taken down a small peg is she is like the biggest idiot known to man. Like if you see her in interviews,
she's not very bright.
She's not a good.
And she ballooned.
But we're talking in their prime. In their prime.
So in her prime, as long as she didn't talk to me much, amazing. But
well, you could talk enough for the both of you, so you're good.
But and it's funny how he had Can't Hardly Wait. She just owned Can't Hardly Wait.
And Heartbreaker, she was gorgeous.
She's insane. It's just that she's dumb. But I don't know if Elizabeth Hurley, I haven't seen many interviews with her, but I think she comes off a little smarter.
Definitely.
Definitely smarter.
So maybe it's Liz Hurley with a J Love on the back, burner.
Okay, I like it.
There you
go.
Good.
Those are good choices. All right, can you guess mine?
Okay, you are going.
Remember, I didn't. You have to know
the funny thing is, you and I don't.
I would have been younger at that time, and I wouldn't have had my Asian influence.
You and I don't have the same taste, so I think it would be. Let's see. I'm just trying to think. Is it? I'm just going with the ones that are no offense to your taste, but I know that we're not usually on the same.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's what's her the one who is formerly in Wild Things, who
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, dating Charlie Sheen.
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards. Yes.
Nope.
I
have 2. See, let's see if you can guess one of them.
Is it Cindy Crawford?
Yes, Cindy Crawford is one.
Okay, Cindy Crawford.
She's option
Shannon
A.
Elizabeth.
Yep.
Boom.
You got it.
Wow.
Dude, there was 8, and you got 2 of them.
Boom.
You made an early call. I think if you waited a little bit, you would have been fine. See,
I figured Denise
I got
Richards
puberty voice today, dude.
I know, right? Your puberty kicking in. Peter Brady over
Cindy
here.
Cindy Crawford is option A all day long. Gorgeous back then, and then Shannon Elizabeth.
Have you seen her daughter?
No.
Her daughter's not so bad.
I mean,
her daughter's a model too.
I mean, all of them are hot, and J-Lo does do it for me. But Shannon Elizabeth with that big smile and face, and that body is just she's very hard to kick.
Yeah, no, definitely not. She was great in American Pie, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
But then some things I've seen, like it's sort of like sometimes she was a little hit and miss for me, but
Like she was
hey.
great in Jay and Silent Bob also.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, can you look up Cindy Crawford's daughter? Just
So I
I'm
can't
not...
without killing the. Give me a sec. So let's do the end of the
Oh,
Nice.
little Judi
Damn.
Dench for you.
Ryan's number
Yep.
one in her prime.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
mine right there.
Nothing against Dame Judi Dench. I'm sure. By the way,
Judi Dench.
I will say this: from a, you know how I do the whole autograph through the mail thing.
Yeah.
If I was in England, I would probably have her autograph because she signs for everybody, and she's a dame. She doesn't need to.
No, she is.
So
she
she's clearly a good person. So I know we trashed her last week, but
whoa,
see, yeah,
you're right.
Hello, yeah, Cindy Crawford's daughter.
Hello.
And she's in her prime now. Mother-daughter combo.
Oh, dude,
Well,
that's
Cindy
awesome.
Crawford still looks amazing.
Well, she does. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Those
she
two.
does. Cindy
That's a younger
Crawford.
picture, but
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
yeah, I didn't mean to click on that one.
Yeah, you went
Yeah.
creepo on us.
Yeah, that's a little suspect, sir. But anyway.
I might still take mom over daughter. Holy cow.
No, you're taking daughter.
I don't know. I like older women.
Yeah, I would take mom.
Over daughter right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I like moms.
Okay. I'm not saying she's like, nobody's ever saying no to Cindy Crawford.
No.
But what I'm saying
absolutely.
is-
How old's her daughter? Let's make sure we're not being like super creeps, because
Oh, yeah, that would help.
super creep.
No, I think she's like
Super
20. I think she's in her
We're good.
20s. Oh, I think
she's 21. Whew. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Oh,
phew.
nice.
See, we're good. That picture right there. You're taking daughter.
No.
You are.
That mom is, I mean, she's got it going on. Plus, she's got the
She's
little
got
dimperoo. Like, I love that little dimple thing she got going
Cindy Crawford has a dimple thing.
on. No, the mole.
Yeah.
The mole.
See that does. I don't like the mole.
I love the mole.
I actually, you know, how Cindy Crawford actually tattooed the mole like to make it bigger. That's when I kind of fell off the Cindy Crawford train.
Oh, I love the mole. I'm a
when
big
it was
mole.
a subtle little mole, I was like, boom, awesome. But once she kind of tattooed it and over embellished it, I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
I like little.
I can't help but stare at it the whole time. I would stare at it the whole time.
Moly, moly,
Nope.
moly, moly.
Exactly. It wouldn't be good for me. It just really wouldn't be good for me. But you know it is good for me right off the bat,
What?
sir.
Mailbag.
Oh, you're. Now we're gonna lose one listener.
Time for mailbag. Mailbag.
We're gonna
It's
lose your
so
wife.
my wife can
Yeah.
like go to bed without having to listen to the whole.
All right, so the mailbag this week is from Space Coast Bill, and Bill says the subject is for Mrs. Matt.
Awesome.
And he says he has nothing. I have nothing to say. I just didn't want Matt's wife to be disappointed with no mailbag.
Oh, see, way
That
to
So
go.
nice.
Thoughtful of
Way
you.
to go, SCB.
Yeah.
And my wife,
Did he
thanks
ever
you.
review Avatar for us? I was hoping to get his opinion on it.
I don't know.
He
We
has
can ask.
not, but he should write in next week with a review of Avatar if he's seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm going to want to see
Well,
it, but
Andy reviewed it on the show too.
he writes really good reviews, and I think I would know what Bill.
So I saw something, and I didn't really look into it, so I don't know if this is 100% true, but they said that apparently it's made $2 billion worldwide, the movie. Already.
Yes.
But somebody looked
Huge.
into it, and the like 90 million of or some like 90% of the worldwide gross is from Armenia, and there aren't enough people in Armenia to see the movie to cover that, so that there's like thoughts that like they're like laundering money through Armenia on.
And that could be, and I know the one thing that stands out about it versus all the other movies that have come out is the fact that China accepted it, where they don't accept most of the other movies coming out. So that adds a whole nother.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
So they've made like 300 million in China on the movie,
Yeah.
but like Armenia supposedly had like a bigger take than China or
Doesn't
something.
Armenia have like 10 people in it?
Yeah, that's the
Maybe.
thing. Like somebody figured out like everybody in Armenia would have to see the movie 10 times, you know, or,
We need
or
those
something like that.
for our show.
Yeah, if we get
Should we-
popular in Armenia, that'd be great.
Should we be like, let's learn some Armenian?
Hey, Brian, advertise us in Armenia.
Yeah,
so-
can we get some like Armenian?
Already on it.
Although if there's a gig, you have to go. I'll be a satellite.
I'm going to
like,
Armenia. Isn't it like communist?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
Although I think it's really cheap though. I think
Okay.
you could get there for $50.
Yeah, but what Armenian food am I gonna have?
You could be
Like,
bougie in Armenia.
Yeah, if you were in it would be like Euro trip.
Yeah.
They went to the
there
one
is
place and they had like
nothing in Armenia to eat.
you could make them make anything you wanted for like $5.
I don't even think they have the ingredients to make it.
It's basic ingredients. Everybody has
You have
ingredients.
enough money. You have enough money. They'd be like, they'd get it.
Remember Euro
Is there a
trip?
McDonald's in Armenia?
Remember
There's
Euro
McDonald's
trip?
everywhere.
It is. They went to that one, like, I think it was like Czech country or whatever. And I think they had $20, but they lived like kings for, it was just, everything was nuts.
So there is one? All right. Perfect.
Yeah, there's McDonald's.
No, there's no McDonald's in Armenia, apparently.
Oh,
Wow.
that's crazy though.
Oh, great. I'm not going.
Okay, well, what can you do? We got to bump up Armenia though, because
Yeah, we do.
that could be our thing. And our show should be titled "We Love Armenia." Is there anything bad going on in Armenia that we should know about before we put that
Yeah,
up there?
that's true. We should.
Clearly, we haven't researched Armenia.
Let's see.
I hope it could be good. I'm sure it's good. They got a couple conflicts.
Yeah, they've got some stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe we
They're
should.
being like, what they're for their human
And
rights,
I don't think they definitely treat their
social
women
issues, and things like that.
we could just be like, hey,
And like, there's the whole Armenia or Azerbaijan
Armenia.
conflict. So
oh yeah, okay.
We gotta stay away.
Sorry, Armenia. We do need your numbers though. If you would like to write in and tell us about your country,
In English.
or
Yes,
write in
right.
and tell us about your Avatar review.
oh
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. Write us at subfactspodcast@gmail.com.
Bam.
That's in honor of Rob from Leesburg. Once again,
Love it. He made a showing
subfactspodcast@gmail.com.
last night. That was
Yeah, he did.
awesome.
Good stuff. So, speaking of good stuff, I was going to bring it up last week, but we got carried away. So
We got carried away in a lot of things last week.
we did. So last week, you know
But I
how
don't know about we.
was
so
it
much
me?
as you.
It was me, more me. Okay.
But it was your show last week.
Fair enough.
I let you have your limelight.
Oh, good. Okay, so this will be your show. Well, not really.
What is this?
Okay, so last week Oreo basically came out. You know how they've been coming out with random flavors and whatever. They came out with the most Oreo ever because it's an Oreo flavored Oreo. Like it's
What
Oreo
is
stuffed.
that?
It's Oreo with stuffed Oreo cream. So
Huh.
so the cream itself is a cookies and cream. So
But it's Oreos cooking in cream. Cameron.
so you know how like Kit Kat is made with used Kit Kats?
yeah.
It's like that. So they basically took the normal Oreo cream and crushed up the cookies,
And put it in there.
and that's now the stuffing of an Oreo cookie. So it's
Wow.
so it's the most Oreo. But I think it's kind of I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of stupid because it isn't going to taste like anything but a normal Oreo.
Right.
So for me, this is the moment I think when Oreo jumps the shark as
Yeah,
far
they're
as
just
like
trying to
flavors go. We know somebody who loves every Oreo flavor,
absolutely.
and there's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy trying them, but come on, Oreo.
Yeah, this is weird. It's
I
not
think
even
they jumped the shark.
They did.
You know, that's kind of like because what does it taste like? It tastes like
Everything is going
Oreos.
to taste. Everything is all Oreo. It
Yeah.
doesn't taste any different than a normal Oreo.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'll try them. Like when we do the cheat
Of
night,
course.
if some of those were out there, I would totally eat them. But I think it's a grasp for Oreo to try to come up with
100% a
something novelty. And the sad thing
And
is,
they're going to charge $6 for like 20 Oreos.
and the sad thing is, somebody at Oreo should be doing the numbers. Like these new flavors probably don't do like even 1% of what a normal Oreo does. Like they've already won. Like the take-home cookie from the store,
Easy.
they own it. You don't need these other flavors.
They're already the number one.
Like, is there a person that goes, I don't like regular Oreos, but I love the peanut butter Oreos? No.
But it is a way to stay on top, right? It is a way to keep your product at the top of the line in the front of every aisle, like in a separate aisle where a lot of like new stuff is and advertised, like, hey, try the new Oreo.
I guess I get it. I do get it from that perspective, but I feel like Oreos will never die.
Right, but they could though.
Like
Like
if
we thought
Hydrox-
Blockbuster
like
would never
if-
die.
Like if Hydrox is still going, come on.
What I'm saying is, you think everything thinks you're never going to die.
Mhm.
Like Blockbuster thought that.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
You know, network. I mean, all these
I guess
television
there's
networks.
a point to it, and they're not losing anything because they're really just taking their same product and
Yeah.
putting it in their product. So it's not like they have to go
Right, they
buy
get
another-
extra advertisement, and they don't need to invest in like a
Okay,
injecting strawberry flavor or whatever.
and I'll try them. Why
Of course
not?
you'll try 'em.
I love me some Oreos. So yeah, the other thing we were going to talk about last week, but we got a little carried away, and this is more your story to tell. But you were talking to a coworker of ours who's a little bit on the older side, a little
Yeah.
older than us, and
Not too much older though.
and he was talking about back in the day dating, and it was more in the 90s dating. I'm
Right, he was
assuming.
talking about how he met his wife.
Yes. And so he met his wife basically on one of those like old school party lines. Like if you remember, you used to have to call in, you call in just a normal number, and there would be random people chatting. That was an old school party line type,
Right.
but this is slightly different from
This
what I
is a
understand.
voicemail dating service.
So you call in, or you leave a voicemail
Yeah,
that's like, hey,
but you have or you call up and you hear a profile.
Mhm.
Like you would record a profile like, yo, I'm Mooney. I like to go to the movies. I like pizza. I'm 5'11".
You
I'm
would say
trim.
yo
No, I
in
wouldn't.
your profile. That's how
Yeah,
you do.
No, but my point is, or I could be like, hey, you reached Jeff Mooney.
Mm,
Like, I'm one of those guys that just like to have fun. I like going to the beach. I like going to the movies.
yeah,
Here are some of my favorite foods. Hey, reach out to me if you like.
I think.
Peace.
And
right?
then somebody else. If you're the person who's looking, you just listen to a bunch of those,
Yep.
and then you select one that you
Old school Tinder, right?
Yeah.
Instead of
Swipe
looking
right.
at guys as you know what and the way they look,
Yeah,
you got to match based on your voice, which probably would do well for me. Like, I don't know. Like,
it might do well for you. It would be awful for me. Like
Right,
I
so-
would be miserable,
like,
and
hey, baby, right?
I would be so terrible at this.
So that's how you do it. So you would call in, listen to a voicemail, and then you would end up like, if you liked it, you would go, okay, well, I like you too, and then you would set up a phone date,
Yeah. So
and then you go on a phone date, and then you
and
see
you're
what
talking
happens
to
from
them
there.
live at that point,
Right.
and then it's like, hey, what up?
And if you like the way each other sounds, what they're
Mhm.
saying, boom. Then you never know. You may end up married. But
Wow.
the funny thing is like, how do you get, like, do you like start a voicemail game? Like, hey, bachelor number 2, if you
Yeah, it's like if you were my alarm clock, how would you wake me? I just,
right? Like, hey, if you were a telephone, how do I make you ring? Right? You
but like I what's so weird about it is like girls can so many times will sound sexy, and a guy will just constantly bite. So
yeah.
you
they
could
do.
just put any voice out there, and a guy's gonna want to swipe right because you're not seeing anything. Guys, on the other hand, what kind of ridiculous pressure that would be to be able to say like the right things, to be that smooth.
Yeah.
No chance could I pull that off.
No, I don't know if, I mean, I might have a little bit of luck, but even when I meet him, it's gonna, then I'm done, right?
I think the only person, and I'm trying to think of who in our crew, like the Subfacts family, would successfully pull that off, and it's got to be BK. I think
I think he could.
I think he would be the only one that would be, because most people would be nervous because you have to like back in the day leaving answering machine messages. I couldn't even do that, but like
especially for one you thought was hot, you're like, I think you're kind of cool. Like, maybe we can go on a movie together, right?
like if you're trying to sell yourself.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Oh my God. That's where I'm like, BK would just like roll up like he's been there 50 million times and make it happen. But
and by the way, if you're trying to sell personality, it's hard to do on a voicemail.
And then do you like hire somebody to like do your voice, like be you? Like if you have somebody who's a little bit more confident or whatever, and then
absolutely.
Like I'm sure catfishing back then happened like a champ.
Oh, easier to catfish. Holy cow, yes.
I would love to know more stories about these things to see like how like not like the person they really like. Who they got. You know what I mean? Because your voice,
you're like you're not the voice over the phone.
Outside of your voice telling, like voices can tell you can easily tell if the person's fat based on their voice, because the heavy breathing, you know how that goes. But But other than that, you have no idea. Like you could completely change your voice. And if you did impressions of something, that'd be even better.
That'd be awesome.
So that creeps me out.
But I thought it was a funny story. I was like, how do you, like, really? And you ended up married?
That's even crazier too. Because if you think about the random luck that it had to be that this person found the right person, like physically attractive, mentally, all of that, just by hearing the voice.
And what I'm saying is it worked out. Like,
absolutely.
That's amazing.
I couldn't do it. I'm trying to think of, you're like me, the old school way where we didn't have the technology.
100%.
You were single.
I had to carry a pen in my jeans.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where we didn't have like the I guess we could have done this chat thingy or whatever,
right.
But I think I had like eHarmony or something was just coming out when I was dating.
Yeah.
And then you have that.
I used Match once.
It's still kind of the whole like, oh, I like this person because we have something in common. And then you can email. I guess it's somewhat similar, but then, but it was never my thing. But where the kids today, that's all they do.
Oh, 100%.
Straight up Tinder and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's no more old school.
I have to think, would I do that if I was?
Well, I approached women all the time. Like I had no fear.
Yeah, like if I was paroled, or if we were paroled.
Yeah.
Would you then like go right for the technology? You hate technology, but would you go right for the Tinder?
I would do a mix. I wouldn't do Tinder. Like I may do Tinder if I wanted to accomplish something, but for someone I really wanted to meet, I might do something like Plenty of Fit. They're all like that, but I would try to find something that's here we go. Little more
Peter Brady.
A little more where I can meet someone and expect a good first date. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you're gonna want things to lead to a certain thing, but you want to have a date.
You would, like for me, I would be on J-Date,
right,
with the Jewish women dating, and you would be on the Asian date or whatever it is.
Asian friend finder.
Is there a thing?
Oh yeah, there is.
Okay.
It's a little bit more than that, but yeah, Asian friend finder, 100%.
Oh yeah, I was watching YouTube, and I found the algorithm. Like I watched this one thing where this guy who he goes to like really just crazy places around the world, and he has no fear whatsoever, no care. And so of course, because I watched one, then it gives me all these different things. And there was a place in Thailand, and it was like Lady Street. And I was like, Mooney needs to be on Lady Street. Like,
absolutely, I do.
Like that is your all it is, like
Lady Street.
And I noticed one of the things, they just come up to you and they try to like rub your chest. They got very touchy, as far as like,
why
hey,
the chest?
I don't know. This guy, he was there and they were just like rubbing his chest. I guess she was basically saying, hey, I don't mind touching you,
you shouldn't mind touching me.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Reaching out, touching you.
So I was like, you need Lady Street, sir.
I do, absolutely.
You need to, like, that's your thing. Although other than that, I don't think Thailand's for you. Like,
no, they have good beaches though.
Yeah, but it seemed kind of crowded, and but it was very cheap too. Which was one of those things. On Lady Street, there was a place called.
I would do Vietnam first, because Vietnam is like my biggest preference for Asian women, and then Korean is next.
Oh, because on Lady Street, they said one of the most popular places is a place called Climax Massage. And I was like,
I wonder what happens there.
I have no idea, but
I'll take my chances.
It was for 50 baht. You can, one of those things. But anyway, yeah, I don't think like old school dating. I think I'm kind of thankful in a weird sort of way that everything happened the way it did in our generation. Because I don't think I could. I think I would feel miserably.
I would.
Tinder.
100%.
Nobody's swiping right on this guy.
No, I was way better with going up to a woman, introducing myself, making him laugh, getting a phone number, and then going on a date or two.
Absolutely. So, but I'm glad it worked out for my man. I just think it's so weird to have a party line basically in the party line. But I remember back in the day though.
Hey man.
Remember, Brian, you were kind of more of a computer guy, I think too. But remember those like old school bulletin boards?
Yes.
Where like before, like
so you used to go into like AOL or BBS's, like
you would have to call in your modem.
Yes, you'd call a phone number on your modem.
You would call phone number, and then you would like, a lot of times it was like exchanging pictures or whatever, but it was like a little chat group and you talk to people. I remember like one of my buddies, like he was like talking to this one girl, and we had to drive down to Culpeper.
Whoa.
Randomly out of the blue to meet this girl. And safe to say, she did not look like she, well, she came off like really super cool and all this kind of stuff. And I think she did send a picture, but she was like the anti that picture. Like she could have just said, here's a picture that's 100% not me. Like that's how she should have said it. But she was pretty big. She's a big one. And so
not lazy Saturday big.
No, but that was old school dating, I guess. You think about it, calling old school bulletin boards. So wow. Weird.
Crazy times.
Anyway, speaking of crazy times. That's Andy.
That's Andy.
Boom. So crazy times. M. Night Shyamalan is back.
I know.
And the movie is called Knock at the Cabin.
I made a bunch of people laugh. I said, because the preview is playing, I said, M. Night is gonna F me again. I said he F's me every time. He is the king of previews. I love every preview he puts out. And then the movie is a piece of tired, useless junk crap.
I think his problem is I think he's an idea guy. He has a great idea, but he has no idea how to execute it.
You called it. That's it.
He's just 100% idea guy. And what he needs is he needs to work for
substance people.
He needs to work at like Blumhouse or something.
Absolutely.
Where he's just a dude that goes, hey, what about this?
Like a Roth or a Blumhouse.
100%.
Or even like, I mean, I know he won't come cheap, like a Cameron, like someone who can execute.
Yeah.
Like as much as we don't like it or poo-poo it, Avatar, the first one, was pretty amazing. So now, if you get a guy like Cameron,
I got bored.
My point is if you get a guy like Cameron and you get an idea, then he could carry that idea out.
Absolutely. I think that's what he needs. He needs a partnership, where he goes, I'm the idea guy. The other guy is my executioner guy. He's the guy who knows how to do it, put it together, gets the right writers. But M. Night, he fails every step of the way. But anyway, Knock at the Cabin, just for those folks who haven't heard about it, is essentially about a family that's living in a log cabin somewhere, and then like 4 or 5 strangers come in and kind of take him hostage. And then basically
it's 4 strangers.
4 strangers are like, they're like good people, but they have no choice because they think the end of days are coming unless these people.
And they give the people there, they say you have to make a choice. You have to sacrifice one of your family members or one of your group or something disastrous is going to kill.
Yeah. Which, it's one of those things that it's a great
You would
idea.
easily say sucks about them.
I 100% would. I was going to lead up to that, but I was going to say I would immediately be like, yeah, F those people. I'm in the woods somewhere. Nobody's going to see me anyway. So It's not like I got to worry about tidal waves or anything. So, they can F themselves.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Very good idea.
But it's going to suck.
Okay, here's another. How about call Ben Affleck? Dude, the guy is a pimp director.
Yeah.
Why not get him to direct the movie? You could be the producer. You could be the idea guy, and you'd be like, hey, Ben, here's my idea. Here's like the rough outline. Take it from here.
Yeah.
Like, movies suck.
Yeah.
I want to see I would, if he can condense his movie into 10 minutes, it'd be great.
By the way, when we're talking about how you have to like sacrifice a family member, this week I saw an article about this Mayan girl. I think she was Mayan, but it was like a Mayan girl who was like 14 who had to be sacrificed. She, like her family sacrificed her.
Wow.
So the interesting thing was apparently they sacrificed her to a volcano.
What?
In the way, I don't know the science behind it, but the way that where she was and how everything happened, she was preserved perfectly. So her clothes were perfectly like intact.
No
She had like
way.
braids in her, like her body was like, it was like she died like yesterday. But she was, and so there's like scientists, there's a picture of her, and there's like scientists that are
Whoa.
like, you know, wiping some dust off her, doing whatever they do.
Oh,
But she was like
amazing.
preserved perfectly. And it's like, you know, that's gotta suck. Like she's kind of curled up a little bit. And I'm like, if you know you're gonna be sacrificed, like was it in her culture that she was just like, yeah, it is what it is. I know it's gonna happen. Or did they not tell her? Like, and they just go, look, you know,
They probably
you
didn't tell
stay
her.
here.
That probably was like a surprise.
Like
Surprise.
like, you know, like I always want them to like be able to way to recreate her or bring her back just to hear that story. Cause you know, that's a nut story. Cause you know, it's like, hey, well, they in the article, they were trying to say how like the father had a brother, had two kids. One was a boy and a girl. They decided to sacrifice the girl. I don't know how they know this stuff. I don't think it's, you know,
Yeah.
I think they're making that stuff up. I'd love to hear her perspective of it. Cause like, it'd be like, oh great, now I got to be sacrificed.
Yeah,
I'm in
before
this
she died. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but it's pretty crazy. You guys should check it out. There's a picture of
That's
the
insane.
girl. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty
Insane.
nuts. But yeah, I don't think I'd sacrifice anybody. I'm not sacrificing,
No.
you know, I love my family more than anybody else in this world.
Yeah, so you're not.
And so, yeah, so everybody else can, you know, sorry about your luck, folks.
Yeah.
It's,
You know, subfacts won't happen this week. Sorry.
no, and especially if I'm living in a cabin in the woods somewhere where
Yeah.
clearly I'm not going to get anything else bad happening.
You're good.
Not my problem. That's how I look at it. So the next movie is
Life coach.
Exactly. Which this weekend, my wife went to a some kind of a seminar thing about like kids and, you know, something for the boys' school. I don't know. I didn't go. But she literally comes back. She was there for like 2.5 hours. And she was like, I swear every speaker basically said everything that you keep telling me. And I'm like, see, I could be they were all life coaches. And she literally came back and she goes, I know you joke about this, but literally every advice that you give, they were all saying it.
No.
And I was like, I know, right?
Because you give some good advice to your wife at times. No, absolutely not.
Apparently there's other people sounding off.
I'm sorry. I know your wife might get offended, but she absolutely backs you like no other. There is no person who backs her husband more than she backs you.
She didn't need to back me when it was just her and I having a conversation.
But she does. She supports and backs you all the time.
She came back and she was like, you have a second
I
calling,
played trivia
sir.
with you the last 2 weeks. She backs you. She absolutely does.
Just saying. She was like, you have a second calling, sir.
Raju, my sister-in-law argues with my brother. My wife argues with you, and she does not like she just backs you. That's it.
Way to go. She's a supporter.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is her saying you're a life coach? No.
Okay, fair enough. There's
no one else agrees with you but
opinion.
her. Has that
I didn't go to the place. I'm just saying.
Has that ever shocked you that no one else has said that about you but your wife?
I'm sure there's people out there, people listening to this show in Armenia.
Wow.
They're like, that guy could be a life coach.
No.
There's somebody. I want somebody. There's somebody. There's one of our listeners. Somebody out there is going to be like, that guy should be a life coach. Right into subfactspodcast@gmail.com, folks. The next movie is All for Brian.
No.
Brian will be the only person. It'll say they sold one ticket, and it'll be Brian.
I don't want to. I can't believe this movie was made.
It's 80 for Brady, and I've talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's actually coming out this weekend, and it is based on a true story of little old ladies that had a thing for Tom Brady, and they got together and watched the game. In reality, I think it's down. The group has whittled down to 2, and they don't even really watch the games anymore because they're that old. It's a cute story. Tom Brady's like an executive producer. I'll never see it. There's nothing in it for me. Brian's going to watch it all the way.
I cannot believe this movie was made. It's very disappointing.
What's going to scare me is if it actually, do you think what's going to do better? Knock at the Cabin or 80 for Brady? We should have that right now. We should pull the
Knock at the Cabin.
You know what? I'll take 80 for Brady.
All right.
We'll just make that little, that little
side bet.
So yeah. And by the way, we're doing prop bets next week?
Yes, of course. Next week.
Okay. So
because they'll have more prop bets by next week.
Okay. So
you don't want to go early on that.
Okay. So we're going to do prop bets for the Super Bowl next week, but this week we have the 80 for Brady. I'm going 80 for Brady will do better than Knock at the Cabin.
All right. Bam.
Okay. Boom. And are we counting worldwide or domestic? It doesn't matter because mine's going to have to be domestic, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we just do domestic? I don't.
Ryan,
I never even consider worldwide.
Ryan, put that in the books, sir. Okay. The last one for the movies of the week came out on Tuesday was Pamala, A Love Story on Netflix. It's a documentary on Pamela Anderson.
Is it star Pamela Anderson?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I will say this. I liked Pam Anderson just, in her heyday. She always seemed to have a good personality. Like I said, she just seemed to have a good personality, go with the flow attitude.
You wouldn't date her on the phone app.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
She just always seemed to be pretty cool. This documentary definitely shows another side to her.
Uh-oh.
And I've seen some reviews where some people think it comes off kind of sad because you kind of feel bad for her. But in a weird sort of way, I think it's going to be the best thing for her because I think people definitely get to see a different side of her.
And she may rebound her career. Who knows?
And she already has had a little bit of a rebound because she was in Chicago on Broadway over the summer.
Nice.
And she actually got really good reviews for acting versus everything else she's been known for. But she comes off as a person who's had she had a rough childhood. But she just kept kind of chugging along and going with the flow. And she just took every opportunity that came to her.
I mean, she's had a great career.
And, she doesn't hold back on dating all the people that she dated.
I mean, she made a lot of money.
Well, that's the thing. She didn't.
What?
So she apparently has always been
a clothing line. Didn't she have Baywatch? And
she didn't get anything off of Baywatch. Like she didn't get residuals or anything like that. So basically she didn't make, and she made nothing off of the porn tape that basically came out. So she didn't make much money at all. According to she's now, because she's got like Tommy Lee money. She's like $20 million.
I was going to say, I thought she had money.
But I guess her big thing is at least how she's portraying it on the show is she's probably saying
discounting a little bit of what she has.
She didn't get that much.
What is that much?
But anyway, she lives back on she moved back to where she grew up in her parents' home basically. And so she, just going out and mowing her lawn, going to the store she's very
with 20 million in her bank account.
I don't know if that's correct. Celebrity net worth. So sometimes it's a little bit on the fake side.
Let's say it's 5 million. A quarter of what?
Yeah, it's probably 5. I'd say it's close to 5.
5 million in the bank account. That's a lot.
I think that's Tommy Lee money too. I'm saying her own personal money that she made. I don't think she's made.
She's still married to Tommy Lee?
No. Oh. But in the divorce, kids, Tommy Lee had to fork over some cash.
She's doing well for herself.
I will say it was pretty compelling. She seems like, once again, you kind of feel for her and in the fact that she tried to be something different. But every step of the way, she was only known for her boobs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so she really kind of tried to keep, for lack of better terms, for what you can with Pam Anderson, she tried to keep somewhat of the moral high ground, if that makes any sense, in her world.
It's tough to do that.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
Especially in today's atmosphere where, you're judged by everything.
Yeah. And it definitely paints a different picture of her than what I think most people think of. So I was, I surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did.
I'll check it out.
Boom. It's good stuff.
I like Pamela, so.
Yeah, and her kids are with it, they show her kids and they seem very proud of her and
that's good.
All that stuff. And if you think about it, how rough is it?
Oh my God.
Your mom's ridiculously hot. She's not only naked in Playboy multiple times, but she's also has a porn tape out that she had nothing to do with per se, but you're a little kid. And you're
your mom was in a porn tape.
In elementary school, middle school, where kids are just brutal.
Right. Billy's mom's in a porn.
In a weird sort of way, I think I would own it though. Like, hey, is your mom?
Is your mom in a porn?
Because your mom's not hot, mine is. What are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah, exactly.
In a weird sort of way, these kids are half Tommy Lee and half Pam Anderson.
Right. So
So
they're good looking.
They're good looking kids.
And then you can be like, hey, your dad wants my mom.
And if any of them are stacked like Tommy Lee, then you know, I'd be like, say what you want. Check this tripod out. You know. And so, but no, like I said, it's an entertainment thing. So good on that. I'm going to just segue right into TV because it's not entertaining. But I saw the new Night Court show. It's apparently doing really well on NBC. It's like
how
I guess it's like it's doing really good numbers on
that
NBC.
Show doing well.
I can't figure it out. I tried.
It's got the girl from
Big Bang, Melissa Rauch, which I do like her.
Yeah.
Like, I do like her a lot, and that's the only reason why I hung in there. Outside of that, it's unwatchable.
But it's got the old Night Court guy, right? Whatever his name
John
is.
Larroquette.
John Larroquette.
It's like Saved by the Bell acting.
Oh.
And it's not even close to being funny. It made me. I was shocked at it.
The previews don't even look funny.
No. NBC has money to pay for writers. I guarantee you there's probably 15 to 20 writers on this show.
Is that
all of them should be fired? What are you looking at? John Larroquette.
No, the Indian dude. Is that Aziz Ansari?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a rando. I don't know him.
A rando? Okay.
All the other people are randos I've never seen before. But what I'm saying, like, they have to have a bunch of writers. And I'm like, every one of these writers should be fired because it's unwatchable.
Why even put it out?
Because there's no original program. There's no original thought whatsoever.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, why can't M. Night Shyamalan give an idea to NBC and then writers who are actually good put something together?
Absolutely. Now there's where he should go.
Like, if he was like, hey, do Night Court.
Like, if you did like a 7 TV special for Knock at the Cabin, there you go.
I just don't see why they had to go. It's unwatchable.
Or a 3 night. I mean, no, it's a 4 episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 hours.
Yeah, but so don't watch Night Court. It's awful.
I had no plans to.
Painful.
No plans.
So anyway, you're gonna have to bring it home, sir.
Boom.
Cindy Starfall, and it's time for Mooney's Dugout. Love you, Mooney.
That's like what Lady Street sounded like.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Boom.
Boom. All right, I'm gonna go. I want to see what order I want to go here. All right, it's mostly NFL related because there's a lot of NFL stuff going on right now. I wanted to throw this in there. I thought it would be funny. I know you'll laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Vandersloot signs with the New York Liberty women's basketball team.
Vandersloot. That's an awesome name.
That's an awesome name.
It's an amazing.
And New York Liberty is stacked. They should absolutely win the WNBA championship now. I'm stoked. She's going to be with Sabrina Ionescu, who they drafted a couple of years ago out of Oregon. I am all in on the New York.
So you're like the only one.
Is there a chance?
That's exactly right.
Is there a chance that in her life she's been called Courtney Vanderslut?
Oh, 100%.
Like,
easy.
You have, like, I feel bad for her because that's the only name you can call her. Like, you know that Vanderslut has been called many a time.
What's really odd, the reason I wanted to mention this story is ESPN has done like a S-load of like college women's basketball advertisement this week. Like, you know how they have the score of the current game going on?
And how many women watch ESPN?
And I don't understand. It's like you scroll to see, oh, what's the score of the Islanders game? What's the score of Phillies game? Like, oh, the basketball game. Like the head thing that'll pop up is like women Stanford beat women South Carolina. I'm like, what?
It has to be for prop bets and the betting stuff.
Here's the thing, folks,
it has to be.
Folks, I highly encourage you guys to listen to Bill Burr's take on the WNBA.
Okay.
And it's it's probably 15-minute bit or something like that. And he's saying what we all know, but he brings it to a point of like, I'm just going to paraphrase. It's the fact that women don't support their own sport.
Right.
And how men shouldn't have to support their sport when they don't support their sport.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, you can't name one person on a women's basketball team, but you can name everything about the Kardashians. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you support the stuff you're interested in, you want to know about.
And they should support women's basketball. They should absolutely.
And you can't complain that women's basketball doesn't make any money or they're not getting equal rights.
When you're not going to the game.
When your own fan base isn't going to see you. That's exactly
right.
But he obviously does it in a funny way. I definitely check it out, but it's so valid. Like, no one knows who Vandersloot is. She could be the Michael Jordan.
She's one of the best players in the WNBA. And she left her team to go join the New York Liberty.
Yeah. Well, great. Because no one's going to care. Like,
I care.
The 5 people in the audience. Like, have you ever been to a WNBA? No. Would you ever go?
I might go. Yeah.
Okay.
If it was easy to get, if they had it like at a local
it would have to be like across the street.
No. Like if it was at like Tyson's, I would go. Right. I mean, I wouldn't go much past that, but if it was easy to get in and out, I would go. Like, I'm not going to Verizon's.
If it was really, really easy and tickets were cheap, would you get season tickets?
No, I would go to a game or two.
Yeah.
Like, let's say if it was at the Reston Town Center, right? And it was at, like, they had a 10,000 person arena.
Like Mason, if it was at Mason.
100% I'm going. I would go for a game or two.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Nobody would, like, even just season, because these people rely on season tickets, and who's doing that?
No one.
That's,
I just thought it would be funny.
Like, I know if you get Wizards tickets, they give you season tickets to the.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, they're paying
the Mystics.
Because doesn't men's basketball have to pay a certain percentage to women?
Yeah.
I think that's how they.
And Leonsis owns both. Like, he owns the team too, so.
So we can do that.
I guess what I'm saying is I think that's how they kind of get around it, where they're like, we're giving up X amount.
Like, if I lived in DC, I would go watch a Mystics game. 100%. I would walk over and watch a game.
I guess I would, in your
if I'm doing nothing and it was a Wednesday night, hey baby, you want to go check the Mystics game? Sure.
I would probably go to one, but I'm not staying the full game. I'd probably leave,
like I say, through 2-3 quarters, where I would go late and see the last.
Yeah, like, I think that's more me. Like, you know how me, when it comes to, like, concerts and everything else, like real like football games and all that, I have to be there like way early. Mystics game, I'm like, dude, are you sure you don't want to get dessert after dinner? They're gonna still be playing,
So DeMeco Ryans is the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. He will now be head coach of the Houston Texans. That's a big move for him.
I don't think it'll change the team whatsoever.
Oh, it absolutely changed the team. The guy is a hard-nosed player. He's been there. He played there for like 7 or 8 years in their prime years.
He is suing the team for the way they handled his injury. He's the first coach that's been hired as a head coach of a team that he's actually actively suing.
It's not going to bode well.
He was a big part of that team.
But here's the thing, though. That team, I feel, is very similar to our favorite teams in the fact that they're just effed by nature. Like, they've never had a good season, and they've been around.
They've had good seasons. When Andre Johnson was there, wide receiver, they absolutely
have. They ever made the playoffs?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, they were challenging for the championship, for the conference championship for a while.
Yeah, really? They were really good under.
For some reason in my head, I have them sucking ever since they started.
No, they for the last 8 or 9 years they've been bad, 3 or 4 years.
I feel like they've been bad for way worse.
They beat the Buffalo Bills in a playoff game 4 years ago or 3 years ago. They had what do you call it?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Remember DeAndre Hopkins, the number 1 receiver in the league, played there. They had I mean, they were good.
I just feel like they've always, in my world, they've always sucked.
Yeah, but
I've never been afraid to play them.
And by the way, they have draft picks galore. They have 2 first-rounders in the next 3 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, you know how, like, if you gave the Redskins a first-round draft pick, we would screw it up.
Yeah.
If you gave the Jets probably a first-round draft pick, you're probably going to screw it up. But I think they do the same thing.
I guess looking at their record, I guess Matt's right. They won like the wild card playoffs, and then they lost
11-5. That's better than us.
They lost the divisional playoffs every time. But
Wait, look at those records you just went through.
Well, I know they have a good regular season record, better than the Commanders. It's just
Yeah, exactly. 11-5, 10-6.
except for the last couple of years. But
what I'm saying is we're not good either.
9-7, 9-7, 9-7.
But if you ask me, we've sucked forever.
I see what
for
Matt's saying. They're similar. They're sort of similar.
Yeah. I just think
they're a little bit better than the Jets and the Redskins.
A little bit better. A little bit better.
I don't think this dude's going to make or break. I think the team's going to stay sucking.
He is a hard-nosed coach that is a younger guy that is going to connect with the players 100%.
Okay, we'll see. Boom.
I'm going to skip that one. I'll skip the PGA thing. This is okay. Tom Brady. This is the second biggest news. Tom Brady is officially retired from football. Finally. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
And he signed a contract for $357 million.
Who does that?
The same day.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm going to retire from my job. Oh, by the way, I've also just made $357 million.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to worry about money forever.
Yeah.
He can blow $10 million and be like, oh, I just made $370.
And he's got like that new girlfriend or whatever.
Oh my God.
Insane.
I'll look that up.
So the biggest news of the weekend, I don't know what you were doing on Sunday afternoon, but if you weren't watching Cincinnati Bengals play the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, there she is. Hello.
In the AFC Championship game, you did not witness what may be the death of NFL football.
Wow. Not with that girl.
That girl is tremendously, wickedly hot.
Like, you don't even know that Giselle's in the room if they're next to each other.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
And that's
she is way better than.
And by the way, she's not going to be the only one, but that's the caliber that Brady's going to get for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
Because there's no chance. He's already got kids. He is not settling down.
No
never. Chance. He's like, I want another wife.
Why would he ever go through that again?
No, him and Gronk are going to be on a tear like no other.
Absolutely.
Okay, anyway.
So back to the might be death of NFL football. That game was so poorly officiated that everyone on Facebook in any group, like Jets group, Eagles group, whatever, is all talking about how rigged and fixed that game was. This week, 2 players have came out and said, we've gotten scripts from the NFL on how the game should go. Arian Foster came out and said, I got scripts. Saints players have said they had to walk out of the room because they were so upset with the script.
So you're saying, I know I did see what Arian Foster is basically saying that, but so they're saying like on the doorstep Monday morning, there's a script that says on Saturday you're playing whoever.
Yes.
We want you to take a dive or come up with a game
script
plan
of like how the game might go.
Okay, because I'm thinking like WWE style, right?
That's exactly right.
So like Vince McMahon goes, Hulk Hogan, you're going to take a dive. You're going to be the heel. You're going to be the hero.
And you can only get but you can only get in football. You can only control it so much, right? So like if the other team, if it's a close game, it's going to be a lot harder to. It's a lot easier to control because you can throw a play here and there, and you can get the team that you want to win at the end. If it's a blowout game, right, then you don't even need to worry about the refs. So Buffalo played Cincinnati last week. Cincinnati was ahead by 14 most of the time. The refs don't need to do anything, right? They don't even need to be like holding or penalty. It's over. But in this game, they were tied. Cincinnati basically gets called on a grounding call, and then Burrow gets lit up and no call is made.
So I guess my part is, who's playing the part? Is it everybody or the refs playing the part?
I think everyone does, to be honest.
Okay, so they're all in on it because
too many people to be in on it.
So
why do you say that?
But in the WWE, though, in a weird sort of way, they have wrestling.
But they know, and they all admit that it's scripted.
Well, they all admit it now, but back in the olden days, they didn't. They didn't back until they had no choice. There was something that took place in the late 80s that I think forced them to do it. But
and that's what. How do you mean there's too many people in on?
Because there's 52 players on each team. They would have to. There's
11 play.
But there's too many people that would know. Oh, we're supposed to lay down or this is supposed to happen, and it would have
They
gotten out
get
way
paid- they
before
get
this.
paid millions of dollars.
Where are these
Mil-
documents?
But you
Where
get
are
more-
these
you
scripts?
get more money if you play. You get more money if you're in the Super Bowl, though, right? What if you're in a team that sucks?
Right. How are they
Honestly-
the Commanders and Redskins for the past 40 years, like, or 30 years? What they've just, those players have just, and those teams have just accepted that they're going to be the doormat.
Hey, you're only going back about 20 to 15 to 20 years when gambling on football became abundantly more clear. Like,
So
and
you could argue that the gamblers ruined football because of the
I
Absolutely.
do
fact
think that there's something to that the league and gamblers do influence the game, and I think it's
that,
I
and
think
like
that
fantasy football and all
all
of
that stuff. I do agree that there's probably something to that, but I don't think there's a script. Like, I don't think they're told, hey, you're gonna Arian Foster, you're gonna fumble on the 10-yard line to lose the game.
no, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's as high as that. It's basically like, hey, here's the game. We think, we want it to go in the first half. You guys make it take a 7-0 lead. It's going to be close, and then Kansas City will win at the end, right?
So Arian Foster, though, is huge, right? And so Arian Foster would be, if he were lying about it, it would be career suicide for like if I'm correct, or does he have any, like, he retired
Yes,
fine,
I'm saying,
right?
but they're gonna. What I'm saying is
I'm saying his reputation wise.
I don't know if he's worried about it.
retire? Did he retire? He retired with a good reputation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, in wherever he lives, I'm sure he doesn't have to pay for a drink at any bar or whatever. He's local
I'm
legend.
sure he's fine with money. What?
But reputation wise, if you come off like a kook or you just completely lied, then it's bad for him. So wouldn't it be, in a weird way, you almost want to think maybe he's telling the truth, but then
What?
again, he's got to show the proof.
And my thing is why are these stories coming out? Why are these stories coming out now? Just after and by the way, I'm not the only. Every Facebook group is going nuts about that game.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "Oh no, it wasn't fixed. Oh yeah, it was like 50-50 or more. Yes, fixed. No, not fixed." But I don't see how you can watch the game and go, "Oh, okay, well, they just got a call here, they got a call there." Come on.
But if it's fixed, wouldn't you want the DeMar Hamlin game, the playoff game? Wouldn't you want Buffalo to win that game because it's a good, heartwarming story?
Not necessarily, because
Or would a lot of people bet on Buffalo to win?
it happened to Buffalo, and Buffalo is not a very well-liked team. For some reason, Buffalo has been on the.
But I think everybody rooted for DeMar Hamlin and how the team handled it.
I mean, it was like 3 weeks. It was like 2 weeks removed, and they didn't replay the game, and they did their best to kind of sweep it under the rug. I don't think they had any plans for Buffalo to be in it.
Yeah,
they historically don't like Buffalo.
I love the sport, but I want this to come out. I want it to be true in a weird sort of way.
Here's my in the last piece. Joe Mixon just got arrested for apparently pulling a gun on a woman and saying, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you. There's no reason why I shouldn't shoot you." Just happened. Story just broke. Wow. So my point is if that's happened and Joe Mixon played in the game on Sunday, do you think maybe the NFL knew about that story ahead of time and was like, "Oh, we can't put the Bengals in the Super Bowl. What about this?"
Good point.
I'm saying there's so much.
The one Eagles player got arrested for
the Eagle, but he was like,
or something. It was like kidnapping and rape.
He's a starting running back.
Yeah, if he third string, you can get away with it, but not starting.
I'm just saying there's too many. And by the way,
Joe
Mixon's going to be out of the NFL. And before he even came into the NFL, he punched a girl while he was at Oklahoma. So this guy completely just derailed his whole NFL career.
I kind of hope it's not him, the Mixon thing, but I hope that it's true. I love the sport and I like watching it. Just, you're definitely more dedicated than I am, but I mean, it would be kind of fascinating. Can you imagine just if they had to come out and go, "Yeah, we've been doing this for the last 15 years, how huge that would be?"
It would be huge.
And then,
but I don't think it would affect betting at all because people would still bet.
And people still watch it. Like, no, they wouldn't change.
Right. And here's the thing. People still watch wrestling.
Yeah.
You would just have to hope you bet on the right side of the game.
Brian, would you continue watching if you knew, if they admitted that it was fake like wrestling?
I probably would. I definitely wouldn't bet. I think it would really ruin the betting on the game. I don't know how you bet on something that they could admit was fixed.
You bet.
There would be like congressional hearings and stuff, and people would go to prison if this is true.
Do you ever bet on roulette?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just chance.
Well, I mean, all the games at a casino are.
You bet on wins.
Yeah.
You're hoping the team you bet on is the team that they're going to want to win.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
I don't know. The people would go to prison if this is true.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting.
It's huge, though. I mean, they opened a huge can of worms with the call.
The other thing too is would the casinos have to pay back some of the money that
you'd have to prove the money you had?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I mean,
it'd be a tough situation, but I see casinos getting sued if they're in.
Well, I mean, I think the NFL would get sued.
Well, 100%. I think there's a lot of lawsuits going on.
I'm saying is I think you started the ball rolling this weekend.
Yeah. Boom. So definitely a lot of things, but it's a lot of things to look out for. I think it's fascinating. Like,
yeah, I want to see what the Super Bowl does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But anyway, with that being said, I like that one because you can hear the British boss.
I never noticed it.
That one always sticks out to me. I like that one. Okay, so Backstage Pass is actually going to be pretty big because it's going to lead into our bigger topic of the show. But just to start out, the 2 new albums coming out this week. Korn has an album out called Requiem Mass. I will say this, Korn had their moment of like kind of having some bad weak albums. And then the last album was actually pretty solid, and they've, kind of gotten back up to the thing. So
what? Korn?
Yeah. And so Korn, I hope Requiem Mass does well for them. So
no.
But if it doesn't,
I don't like Korn. I'm not going to follow Korn. Korn is a nobody band.
Wow. Okay.
Korn's
actually awesome. I'd say first couple albums, they did lose me a little bit. I've been buying them loyally, but there are some
still
crap
buy
albums.
their music?
Yeah, I like it. There's just something about it, but still, like Blind by Korn is still one of the greatest songs ever. It's awesome. Anyway, then Shania Twain has an album called Queen of Me.
I won't own that either.
It's a big comeback album for her. She's definitely doing this whole like comeback, like I'm back, everybody. And she's literally, I think, the highest selling female artist in America to this day, I think, based on her original stuff.
We know people who see her in concert.
I know I haven't, but
you haven't?
No.
Wow.
But I could like. There's a couple catchy songs, that
I figured at some point you would see her opening for somebody.
Yeah, and she's definitely hot, so I would have gone just for that. But at the time that she was big was not necessarily when I was listening to her style of music. Right. So for me, it was just, I didn't care. Like, she was hot, but some of the songs are catchy, but it wasn't for me. But I support her. She seems to be a good person. Like, she seems cool. I watched her documentary a couple months ago.
She's a good person.
She seemed fine. Good for her. So I'm rooting for both Korn and Shania Twain to have big weeks. The other thing that's kind of crazy is this week Ozzy Osbourne announced that he was retiring from touring.
Whoa.
Which is really scary. I don't have he's old. We all knew that, but the fact that he had literally a European tour with Judas Priest all lined up to then just retire is pretty sad, because I think there's more to, like, he's been ailing. It's
got to be his health.
He's had a bunch of health issues definitely in the last couple of years. And, it's one of those things that I think it's way worse than people have learned, or, so I hate to say it, but I don't think it's good for, Ozzy in the long run. Granted, he's like 76 years old, and in Ozzy Osbourne years, that's ridiculous.
That's a long time because
But-
he's lived hard.
But the fact that like because keep in mind, when you book a tour, your contracts, there's so many things that go into place,
And now he's got to break
and
all.
he has to break it. And I know that's tough to pull off. And so I wish Ozzy well. He's saying he's retiring from touring, but I have a feeling he's retiring from everything.
Music, everything,
Yeah. And good on him. I hope he gets time to rest and relax, because I know Sharon's pretty much, hawked him for
Everything he's worth.
everything possible. And I even go back to the TV show, which was hilarious back in the 90s or whatever it was, when he was like, please, can you stop booking me like every single night? He goes, I need like a couple of days to relax in between shows. And what did she do? She just books him another.
Wow.
She's like, I booked you for a winter tour. And I'm like, great, thanks. So hopefully he gets time to rest and relax and just be a grandpa and all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah, he needs to. I mean, what is he, 70 something?
I think he's 76.
Jesus.
74
stop.
or 76. He's one of those. But,
Jesus, give it up.
and he's had a rough, like, on your body life.
Yeah.
So
It's not like he's
no, that's what I'm saying. In Ozzy years, it's like dog
eating
years.
kale and drinking water every day.
No. So so way to go, Ozzy. Salute,
See you, buddy.
from Subfacts. The other thing that kind of came out this week was Beyonce announced her Renaissance tour.
No interest.
This is what's crazy. So most people, they do like a stadium tour, and
No
it's like
interest.
they'll do like spot dates here because they can't fill up every stadium.
Right.
She's playing FedEx Field 2 nights in a row. 2 nights,
Okay.
80,000 plus people, multiple nights,
And
she's doing other stadiums too. I was thinking about it. Somebody was asking me if I
this
was
is supposed to interest me.
somebody was
How?
asking me if I would go, and I'm like,
No.
if I had free tickets, front row
Shut
seats,
up.
if I had free tickets, front row seats, I would be trying to figure out if anybody else wanted to go, because I wouldn't want to go.
Don't ask me.
I wouldn't ask you, of course, but I
Why
mean,
why would you want to go to Beyonce?
I don't. That's what I was literally trying to find. I want to find a good thing to see. Like, I always want to find, is there one thing that I'd go and maybe I could get enjoyment from? But you know how people have
That's
like,
not Beyonce.
some people have like one song that I can kind of get behind and go, I can get behind that. Maybe they'll play that. She doesn't have one song that she's ever done, even Destiny's Child or her solo work, that I've remotely even liked. So I'm like,
So don't go.
I'm not.
Why would we cover her?
Well, the interesting thing
Our
is,
audience doesn't like
No,
her.
but
You
what-
don't like her. I don't
we
like
don't
her.
know what our audience
They don't like
likes or don't
Beyonce.
like
No
her.
one does.
Some people might. The interesting thing, once again, is Ticketmaster is going to be in the forefront on this whole thing, because what happened with the Taylor Swift stuff, Ticketmaster hasn't really changed their ways.
Right.
And now they have multiple silos that people get put in for like pre-sales
Oh my
and all of
God.
that. So it's going to be like, Taylor Swift is one thing, but now Beyonce is a whole nother level, and it's going to go nuts because people are just going to go like, I was online, couldn't get my
couldn't get
Beyonce
seats,
tickets. Ticketmaster is in a world of hurt.
Awesome.
And all I could think of is like, no way in hell would I go, but man, I want to see this show with Ticketmaster, because like they were already up on Capitol Hill last week.
Nice.
You mess up some Beyonce tickets and the Beehive will come and get you.
I'm fine with the death of them.
Me too. I'm for it. I'm rooting for it. And so F Ticketmaster once again, and I hope Beyonce takes you down. That'll be the best thing Beyonce's ever done if that happens. So anyway, another racket is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Are we not go?
Every
Is
year
it
we do
real?
this.
What? How is it back? We just did this like 5 episodes ago.
No, we didn't. So Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year announces their nominees
Is
for
this
the next
twice a year? It feels like we go through
because
this
what happened
way too often.
So here's what happens. In February, they basically announce the people that are on the ballot. So then everybody votes, and then they go, okay, well, now here's the people that actually made it in. This is
Okay.
where we end up making our picks because we don't know who's going to
got
make it in.
Okay.
So I'll list all the people who are on the ballot, and only 7 of those people can actually get in.
Okay.
And
it feels
so,
like we just did this like
so I'm
10
gonna
weeks ago.
so I'll read off the names of who are on the ballot, but then I figured out I've got a formula. I figured out their formula.
You have a formula,
Yes.
a pattern.
Just like the NFL.
So they're cheating.
Just like the NFL, this whole thing is fixed, and I'll explain it afterwards.
Okay.
But okay, so folks, your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2023 nominees are Kate Bush, Sheryl Crow, Missy Elliott, Iron Maiden, Joy Division, and New Order. It's a dual. It's kind of the same people, but without the original lead singer in Joy Division. So they kind of put a dual band thing together. Then Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, The Spinners, A Tribe Called Quest, The White Stripes, and Warren Zevon. It's a decent group. And so here's how I figured this whole thing out. So as you know, we've been keeping track of all of this, and we make our picks and all that kind of good stuff. So I figured out their pattern. And so this is how I'm going to explain it. So the people that got in last year all have a different type of genre within the music industry. So for instance, last year, Eminem got in because, under the rap person category.
Right.
The year before that, I believe it was like Jay-Z. Then the year before that.
So really popular artists.
So basically within that genre.
Right.
So Eminem got in last year.
Okay.
The rapper this year that's going to get in, and I'll bet money on this because I think my formula is correct, is Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, because she's the only other, she's kind of like
the Tribe Called Quest is going to get in this year because they were nominated last year. Missy Elliott's new.
True. No, but Missy Elliott, because she's a female, it's a whole thing.
But Tribe Called Quest has.
Okay, you can put that on your pick.
Brian's calling you out,
but I'm saying
I agree with you. I just think it's going to. I think it's
going to be 1 for 1. It's going to be 1 for 1 rappers. It's not going to be. I don't see. That's where I think Tribe Called Quest is not going to get in because Missy Elliott's a better story, and that's what.
Yeah, but they can do Missy Elliott next year, and then they could do Tribe this year.
We'll see, but Missy Elliott's would be a first time ballot, as was Eminem too.
All right.
So I think that's going to be their thing. So then Duran Duran last year got in, and that was more the new wave type of band because prior to that they had The Cure. So this time it's going to be Joy Division and New Order because that's following suit with the
Duran Duran.
Same Duran Duran. Last year, we had Judas Priest get in for the new wave of British heavy metal group.
And now
it's going to be Iron Maiden. Interesting thing with this one, though, is Iron Maiden over the years, because people keep saying they should be in, has basically been like, we don't care.
We don't want to be in.
They can go F themselves. They also said, hey, if we ever did win, we'd send a roadie to go pick it up because we don't care.
God.
So
they're never going to get in with that attitude.
And I told you this last time. British bands and stuff just don't care about our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But anyway, because Judas Priest got in, Iron Maiden's going to get in. It's going to be a shoo-in. Dolly Parton got in last year for the country part. Willie Nelson is a complete shoo-in for that role.
Of course.
So then last year they had Pat Benatar for the 80s female person, which is going to be Cyndi Lauper this year.
Okay.
Last year they also had 80s Lionel Richie, which is going to be George Michael this year.
Oh, stop. No way they put George Michael in.
They also had a 70s singer-songwriter in Carly Simon. This year is Warren Zevon.
No, they're not putting Warren Zevon in.
70s singer-songwriter. I'm telling you.
No, they're not putting Warren Zevon in.
100% they would. Why wouldn't they put Warren Zevon in?
Why wouldn't they? Warren Zevon's awesome.
Yeah, they're not going to put him in.
I'm telling you, they're following that suit. I guarantee you.
He's not on my list. They're not putting him in.
You guys can say your list, but what I'm saying is that's the formula that they've been sticking with for the past 3 or 4 years. So
I mean, how far did you go back to see if this was?
It's been about 4 years.
All right.
So that's my theory. I think it's rigged. I'm going to go with your NFL theory.
Oh, it's definitely rigged.
I think it's 100. So I think I have been voting for Iron Maiden on the website, but I will say this: I don't think anybody's fan vote remotely counts.
All right.
And Cyndi Lauper is on the leaderboard, by the way.
I got Sheryl Crow,
if it makes you happy, but she ain't gonna win.
She'll win. Iron Maiden. Cyndi Lauper. Willie Nelson, of course. He's guaranteed.
It's a shoo-in because of Dolly.
He's guaranteed. But he's awesome.
Well, true.
Rage is getting in.
I don't know.
And then I have White Stripes. They're getting in too.
Now, the White Stripes
my last one is Soundgarden.
The White Stripes is a scam because they took the fact that they put out an EP before their
then why
first
put them
album.
on there? Then yeah, but why put them on there?
They're almost trying to force them to get recognized. I think it's a recognition. I don't think
they're going to put them on there to put them in. There's no other reason to put them on there.
I will say that the votes just started on the 1st, and at this point, the fan votes. I mean, Cyndi Lauper is leading the pack. Willie Nelson is in there, as well as Soundgarden and Iron Maiden. Those are like the top.
Soundgarden's getting in.
So I'm picking Iron Maiden, Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, Tribe Called Quest, and Warren Zevon.
All right. So
boom. So you don't have a new wave person. So you're sticking with,
I mean, I think Cyndi Lauper kind of covers that.
You're fucking my formula.
Cyndi Lauper kind of covers that a little bit.
Not really.
Sorta. She was like punk stuff, new wave 80s.
It's a stretch.
I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not a.
If Mooney likes her, is she really new wave or punk?
Yeah, that's true.
She's awesome. I love Cyndi Lauper.
That's what I'm saying. I rest my case. I'm going to use you in most when it comes to music. I'll be like, if Mooney likes it, is it really alternative in any stretch of the imagination?
I mean, I like alternative when it comes to like Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all that kind of stuff. Green Day.
Yeah,
but you don't consider that alternative.
No, that was pop. That was, if anything, it was pop because it's popular. It was popular amongst the masses. So it's not really alternative.
Yeah, my music tastes aren't that.
No.
So when do we find out?
So we find out, I want to say in it's May, I think.
May?
Because that's when then the actual people, the actual ceremony getting in is in the fall, I believe.
Okay. It's not too far off.
So but we'll find out pretty soon. But right now, basically anybody who's anybody in the music industry gets their votes and whatnot, even though it's already fixed. That's all. It's fixed. So.
Oh, and I believe it's fixed.
Yes. So I do want to see. I do like it when bands buck the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because there's nothing more rock and roll than to tell the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that they suck. Sex Pistols,
then you get in anyway.
Yeah, like the Sex Pistols did that. Dire Straits couldn't even be found when they won. They didn't even respond to the letters of like, "Hey guys, you won.
You're in, come on in."
And that's what I'm saying. And there's certain bands that just don't. Guns N' Roses, if I'm correct, Axl definitely wasn't there, and I don't think.
Really?
I think only maybe.
I think Slash and Duff showed up.
I think they were the only ones that showed up, but Axl was like, "Go F yourselves, don't care." See, there's bands that like play the part and they do all the right things because they think they're going to get.
Fuck the system.
Yeah, and quite frankly, there's nothing more I think rock and roll than the funny thing is the Sex Pistols they were going to get brought in by Green Day. Green Day always plays the part. It's like the Foo Fighters. They're the typical band that'll show up for anything. Whereas like the Sex Pistols were complaining that Green Day shouldn't even be in there. And they were complaining about Green Day sucking. So it's awful. It's awesome because they're like, they're not punk, And I'm like, wait,
they're not punk.
Johnny Rotten should have the ability to say who's punk and who's not punk.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
But it's kind of funny if you're crapping on the band that's actually like trying to induct you.
God, why? But that's them, man.
Yeah, it is what it is.
They got attitude.
And I highly recommend people going back and looking at the Steve Miller when he got brought in. He gave a speech that was basically like F the industry, which was awesome. Jesus. And the Black Keys introduced him, like they inducted him. and he didn't even know who they were, and basically just and they were embarrassed. They were putting out a press release afterwards, like, "Hey, we don't have really anything to do with that guy because he offended everybody in the room." And I'm like, "That's awesome, way to go, Steve Miller."
But he's been offensive for a long time, Steve Miller.
Well, yeah, he's just jaded on the industry. It's all good. He flies like an eagle into the future.
Wow.
Some people call him the space cowboy.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Dad jokes in music.
Boom. So anyway, as much as I love to hate him, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is what it is, and I do think it's fun picking the category, like picking the people.
We'll see if your theory holds true, man.
I would bet money on my theory.
I don't know.
And you know me, I don't bet money for anything. So
if you're willing to bet money, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong.
Well, Matt rocked his shirt last night, but I mean, it was pretty awesome, and the guy is pretty awesome. All music, all tech support for Subfacts is provided by our friend Andy at Creative Underground. He runs a state-of-the-art production studio in Leesburg, Virginia. And we can all find out more by going to his website, but that's not all. He does corporate events, youth sports, pro karaoke, weddings, concerts, audio education, tech education, video education. He does it all. You got to go to his website. You got to get a gift card. You got to see him. Go to his website,
www.creativeunderground.co, not .com.
And he does awesome shirts because we rocked them.
That is true. Except I've got a weird situation with him this week.
What?
So he's supposed to go to the Iron Maiden tribute band with me, but it all is predicated on if his son makes his hockey playoffs.
Oh, that's right.
So apparently his son made the playoffs, but it's whether they play multiple games back to back. So he's like, if they lose the first game, I can make the show. if they continue on, I can't. And I'm like, I love you and your son, but can you miss? Can you take a dive? Can kids hockey become like the NFL? So we can have a good time at the Iron Maiden tribute show.
Wow, you're gonna take his son to take a dive so you can enjoy Iron Maiden with somebody.
Yes, you know how I do.
Wow, selfish.
So
that's selfish.
We'd have a good time.
It's selfish. That's what it is. You're not a life coach. You're selfish.
Okay, fair enough. But we would have a good time on it. Anyway, thank you, Andy from creativeunderground.co, not .com. Okay, next is Big Ben from K Street Photography, DC.com. Ben is an award-winning image builder and FAA certified pilot of drones. He specializes in corporate events, team imaging, business headshots, personalized business branding, imaging. Pretty much anytime you think of pictures, you think of Ben. He put up some stuff about doing headshots and stuff now too.
Nice.
So, I'm telling you, my man's everywhere.
I'll get some headshots.
Yeah, we definitely need to get him back in here to get more updated pictures. Now that I've dropped a couple LBs, he made me look good when I was like the fattest.
Now he can really make you look good.
So now he doesn't have to like I always go, can you thin me out a little bit?
Thin me out.
And he's like, look, I can do so much, sir. I can do so much. But so maybe we'll get the Andy shirts.
Awesome. We'll
get some good pictures and stuff and put them up on the interweb, as they say. So once again, Ben from K Street Photography, DC.com for all things pictures.
Bam. And then I've been pimping them out on Facebook a lot. Big Dog Auto Detailing on RHOLC. Is that it? Or
the Thunderdome?
Thunderdome.
Yes.
So people, why do people keep asking? They're like, oh, do we know a detailing guy? I'm like, yeah, we do. It's like freaking Kyle.
I know, right? There's no other.
I'm like, check it out, Big Dog Auto Detailing, and I know the number. So I'm like 571-233-8716, and I'm like, you got to call.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 100%.
I said he's booked. He's got crazy customers on the list. He does everything: trailers, cars, trucks, you name it.
That's how good he is, folks. It's winter time.
Yeah.
It's winter time and he's booked.
Yeah.
Like that.
Because your car's going to get completely effed with dirt and snow. And
I'm not going to lie. I don't wash my car at all during the winter time.
It's stupid too.
I just don't, because it's going to get dirty and then I'm going to wash it.
No, it's excellent too. Call him now.
Well, I know, right? But I'm saying I don't. But the fact that he provides a premium service too.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm paying $10 at the local gas station to run through the thing. He's providing a premium service in the winter time, and he's booked. That's how good he is. That's insane.
Yep.
So once again, Big Dog Auto Detailing at 571-233-8716.
Call them now.
Yes. And now it comes to us. Folks all around the world, Armenia included.
You in Armenia.
Well, if we can get some big numbers, I'll take them. Well, folks, we've established we love everybody in the world equally.
Yes,
we don't have any grudges towards one side or the other in anything really.
Oh my God. See, I just pulled it up. This is no lie. I just checked ESPN because it was the close of the show.
Vandersloot.
No, college women's basketball. Bazing.
I think it's saying like, who cares about this?
Maryland
sport?
women versus Iowa women.
Yep.
I am telling you, it is like every day. No, I don't get an update on the Suns game, Lakers game, Mavericks game, college women's basketball.
I think it's the algorithm. You're in an algorithm.
I'm not in an algorithm.
You might be.
I didn't like Google like Iowa chick basketball. I didn't do that. I'm not.
Did you do like any like college Asian chicks or something, and then they just took college and chicks together and put that? Maybe that's how it happened. I don't know. So anyway,
okay.
You're jumping on our spot here, sir. Folks, we love everybody around the world equally. Please write into our show at subfactspodcast@gmail.com. Good, bad, or ugly, write us. We'll talk about you on the show, and we'll all have a good time.
And Bill, write your review. Boom.
Oh, yeah, Bill. You've been singled out to write a review on Avatar, which will probably be our 5th.
Avatar 2, or is it called 2? Life in the Water or something?
I think he should just do more reviews because, like, Andy already did Avatar 2, and we've established that it sucks. So it's pointless to have Bill. Like, Bill brings a whole nother perspective.
Oh, wait a minute. By the time, when does that Knock at the Cabin come out this week?
Yeah, it comes out this
week.
week.
You know he's going to see it because he sees 8 movies.
He sees every movie.
Review Knock at the Cabin.
Yes.
Scratch Avatar. That was a false.
By the way, this will be the test whether he
listens.
listens.
Start on the offense, Mooney.
This will be the test to see if he really listens to the whole show.
Okay, review Knock at the Cabin, because we already told Avatar 2 sucks. I want to know if Knock at the Cabin sucks.
Yep. Okay, so folks, if you want to learn more about our show and if you want to get merch,
go to our website.
Go to subfactspodcast.com. I know it's a little premature, but the beach towels are going to sell out. So get your beach towels now in preparation for the spring 100%. And summertime. And hey, if you're going to indoor pools, beach towels, why not?
Boom.
So,
Brian, you better bring a couple because we know you're bouging it out at least.
Oh yeah, in a couple weeks, folks. Bouge Center over here.
Yeah, Bouge.
He is going to be in Florida.
Bouge Brian.
He's going to be the official Flow Rida.
He's going to like Florida like 8 times this year.
Yeah, he needs to get the Subfacts beach towels now so he can get ready. He can be ready to go. But subfactspodcast.com, folks, for all things Subfacts.
Boom.
And we are located on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and much more.
Oh my God, I can't wait to bust Will because he's going to do Avatar, and then I'm like, you didn't listen to the show, dude.
That would be kind of, like I said, we'll know. If it'll be funny. It'll be funny. So anyway, with that being said, everybody stay safe and have a great week, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Boom.